1, 2, kick a poo.
Bending all over the place. Love those, right? It's kind of Michael Schenker, kind of Slash, kind of rock, which we love. So we're going to be down here, first position, D minor. So we're going to start off with a bend on the B 13. And then you're going to go straight down to the E. And then we're going to go back to that 13th fret of the B. And then I'm going to go to the G string 12th fret. And then go back and do the same thing that we did. And bend back up. So we got. Now to the G. Back to the E, 10. Pull off. 13 to 10 on the B, and then I'm going to bend back up. And then the lick basically just repeats itself and recycles over and over. Now what I did was I just ended on a different bent note. So I ended on the E string sometimes, the B string sometimes, and the G string sometimes. So what we can do is... On that one, I'll bend up the B twice. You can do that same thing, but end up on the E. So instead of going back to the B, right where you would bend right here, you just pick a different note. Same fret, but the high E string instead of the B. That one I just stuck on the G. Did the same thing, bend up, and then back. Now, what really makes these riffs and all these riffs up to this point really have life and a character of their own is vibrato, which I'll get into a little bit more depth later. I typically, when I do vibrato, will straighten my strings, and the vibrato comes from a wrist rocking. Now, that's not to say you can't use your fingers. For me, I've just found that it's easier to use two fingers, right, and have that kind of be of a mechanical advantage, and I use my thumb as a pivot point. And then the vibrato actually comes from my wrist rocking like this. Right? I don't use my fingers like this. Now that has its place. You can do that and use your finger to pull. For me, for some reason, keeping the finger stiff and rocking my wrist really just allows me to get the widest and the cleanest and the smoothest vibrato personally. Right? So another thing about vibrato when you're doing these bends, get up to pitch and then bring it down and then back up. Right? You don't necessarily want to go over pitch. Right? It just doesn't sound right. So bend it up to pitch, down, back up. All right, mess with that lick.